Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and today I want to talk to you about loot boxes. Oh god, it's that topic again. Yeah, I know. It's sort of become modern and hip, I suppose, or whatever, to hate on loot boxes, and understandably so. But I'm going to talk to you about something positive about loot boxes. Yeah, controversial, right? Namely, that the way Wargaming and World of Tanks did loot boxes this year is the right way to do loot boxes. With a few reservations and minor criticism here and there, which I'll get out of the way first. I believe they did loot boxes well, and that this, indeed, is the way to do loot boxes sensibly, dare I say. So, the first thing, how it looks like, and what sort of things are acceptable for the community in World of Tanks. People that play World of Tanks are fine with paying $40 for a premium tank. They do it all the time. Wargaming sells literally hundreds of thousands of the bloody things. Matter of fact, you know, those of you that are more into World of Tanks probably know, recently there's been talk that the Scorpion G, one of the most popular tanks in the game, Tier 8 premiums that is, has made roughly 50 million profit? Yeah, around $50 million worth of profit for one premium tank. This is not for the game. This is not premium time in the game. This is not people buying gold, credits, experience, whatever, other premium tanks. No, this is for one particular vehicle. And there's, I don't know, hundreds of premium tanks in the game. Obviously, not all of them as popular, not all of them as expensive, and so on and so forth. But there's still hundreds of them, plus premium time. I dare say the majority of people play with premium time, or with a premium account. Not consistently, not always, every battle and every day, but I think very often, yeah, people play with premium accounts. So I believe this is where I die. Yeah. Oh well. Hats off to the P-43. Oh well, never mind. Okay. Should have kept me tracked. Anyways, don't focus on the game, focus on what you're actually trying to say. So, the negatives, and my sort of, not really pet peeves, but you know what I mean, my sort of criticism of the loot boxes. First of all, it is a form of gambling, right? It is a form of gambling, and it's pretty damn enticing, and if you have problems with gambling as an activity, personally I don't. You know, you can spend your money any way you want as far as I'm concerned. But if you do have a problem with gambling, then this is still gambling. You're hoping to get that rare premium tank. You're hoping to get that, you know, special style or special crew member or whatever. You're hoping for those rare, low percentage items, and it is gambling. It is essentially a loot box. But, you know, I would argue that if it weren't for that, it sort of really wouldn't be a loot box mechanic, would it? So, whilst it is gambling, and whilst some of the items that you can acquire through gambling are not available otherwise in-game right now, that's my second and, well, last criticism of it, some of the items that are available through those loot boxes or through Christmas present gifts or whatever the hell they're going to call them, surprise mechanics, what a joke is that, they're available through that. You cannot get regularly by simply purchasing them, you have to gamble for them. For now. I get a feeling that you will be able to purchase all of those things, minus the crew member, because I think that's really going to be the sort of New Year's special, but the crew member is Santa Claus. I mean, come on, yeah, it sort of just makes sense. I think that, I just realised how risky that is. Don't peek against the Carnarvon Action 10. No, it doesn't have the best gun. Anyways, yeah. The sort of major thing is that you can't get them in an in-game store and you can't buy them directly for now, but I do think that they're going to be, all of them, apart from the crew member, are going to be made available afterwards. And not like months afterwards. I'm thinking it's going to be way less time than that. Weeks, probably. That was stupid, but we're losing this battle anyway. Probably like a week or so, maybe even in the advent calendar towards the, what the hell is an advent calendar? Special offer every day. Thanks, that's all it is, right? Good. So, why is it then good? Because, I mean, so far it sounds like just plain old loot boxes. You gamble for 0.2% chance to win a fancy premium tank, and that's it. Value for money. The value for money for loot boxes this year, last year to an extent as well, but this year is pretty darn big. So, again, it is acceptable for this community and for World of Tanks players to pay a certain amount of money that but is considered pretty darn high for people outside of the community, right? $40 for a tank seems insane, and to some extent rightfully is so, but the value for money for those loot boxes is such that even though it is gambling in that you are hoping to get this expensive thing in the loot box, for each loot box you pay, you get more value than if you were to pay the same amount of credits the same amount of money. I got distracted by chat, even though the Anomizer's on. People still believe XVM is a thing that works. It doesn't. XVM doesn't work anymore, people. Anyways. What the hell is XVM? Don't worry about it too much. It's a horrible thing and it doesn't exist anymore. Anyhow, I should buy a lottery ticket after that bounce. Point being, if you were to, let's say, I'm not sure, the problem here is I'm not sure how much money exactly a loot box costs right now. And whether it's going to be the same as last year, but I reckon it's going to be at least roughly the same, if not exactly the same as last year. So, with that in mind, fascinating. Did he drown himself as well because his team sucks? That's... I love this game, I really do. I really do. It has a way of balancing itself at times with the amount of idiots and whatnot. Anyhow, let's not get sidetracked too much here. Essentially, if you were to pay, let's say a loot box costs $5, or let's use larger numbers. Let's say you pay $30 for something in the game. Premium time, a premium tank, I don't know, missions, or boosters, or free experience, credits, whatever. Let's say you pay $30 to get something in the game, rather than to grind for it, though there's things you can't grind for, you have to pay for. Anyways, pay $30 to get stuff in the game, right? If you pay $30 for loot boxes, the value equivalent of what you're going to get is higher than $30. Higher than anything else you can purchase individually. Now, there's a bit of a caveat to that. This doesn't apply to players that have 6 years of premium time, right? But they aren't exactly common. If you have 6 years of premium time and you get premium time out of your loot box, you're not exactly happy, right? Because, well, you don't need premium time. You don't need any more premium time probably for the rest of your life. Because chances are 6 years from now you might not be playing this game, right? However, for the vast majority of the players, whether you get a premium account, whether you get gold, or whether you get a lower tier premium tank, it's sort of the same. Especially, this especially applies to newer players who don't really have any of the aforementioned, right? So for them, a premium account is as good as a tier 3 premium tank. Obviously, if the gold value is roughly the same, or the money value is roughly the same. So the point being, you are gambling, this is true. You are paying $50, $30, or however many you want to pay for something that you're not really sure what you're going to get out of it. But the point being is, unlike other gambling simulators out there with loot boxes, even though you don't know exactly what you're going to get, the value of what you will get, not might get, of what you will get, definitely is higher than what you would get for purchasing straight up something out of the game. Does that make sense? So essentially, they're just profitable loot boxes. They're not loot boxes that are going to milk you for money. Instead, they're loot boxes that are gonna entice you to buy more of them with rare rewards, but are going to give you a solid return on your investment every time you purchase something. Right? You will most likely, again, depending, for more experienced players that have already spent a good deal of money on the game, for them this is different, but for the vast majority of players, you will not get a situation where you lost money or you feel cheated for the rewards you got out of a loot box. So what are these rewards you can get? Well, I mentioned a crew member, which is, in my modest opinion, probably the most valuable thing in that loot box. Next are essentially ways to skip the reward thing going on right now. Or the, not the reward thing, but the Christmas decorations thing. You're going to get Christmas decorations out of them. Why the hell would I need those? If you complete a certain amount or you gather a certain amount of Christmas decorations, you get boosters, right? To experience, to credits, essentially even more impactful than what are they called? Than premium time boosters. So they're very much worthwhile. And other than that, you also have premium time, higher tier, previously those are rarer, and there's going to be a few other things in there as well, such as styles, which are sold, GTFO, which are sold fairly rarely, and are pretty darn expensive as well. Now, these are flipping gorgeous, but it's just a skin, right? Ultimately, it's no different than a Call of Duty knife skin or whatever. This is true, but on the other hand, there's more work put into them, and they're very, very pretty, right? It's a personal thing. You might like it, you might not like it, but in terms of the raw value, those are pretty darn rare and pretty darn expensive. So, essentially, the big difference between what you would conceive as loot boxes in, I don't know, EA games or whatever, and these is simply in their value. Now, what happens if, for example, I think this is also relevant for people that aren't really into World of Tanks, or if you get duplicates. Don't exist. I believe for the crew member, you physically can't get more than one. Like, it's impossible. When you get one, that's it. But I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm not 100% on the crew member, mind you, that's extremely rare. On the other things, though, the tanks and whatnot, and the styles, those get converted into gold. Now, gold is the real-life currency in the game. You pay real money to get gold in the game, and there's no other way of getting gold, save for a few exceptions here and there, with extremely difficult or grindy missions, or there's also on the North America account there are sheriff accounts, which basically means well, sheriff accounts are essentially streamers and community contributors for World of Tanks that have their press accounts, and every time you kill one of them you get a small amount of gold. And most of these people, out of the kindness of their hearts, play with those accounts and suffer with those accounts, more likely, just to get He's sitting in the open. Literally, okay, thank you. And I didn't get spotting assist for that. No, never mind. Let's not complain too much. Did get a high roll out of it. Anyways, I was going somewhere with this. I now need to count 10 seconds. Excuse me. I don't know, now seems about right. In a better world, I would have counted out 10 and then moved, because you get, you get unspotted after 10 seconds. Anyways, doesn't matter. Right. Well, let's say you get a tier 3 tank, which is not great, but it's pretty decent, right? You'd be happy with it if you don't have it. It's okay value for money. Obviously, you're hoping for the really expensive ones. You're hoping for the big stuff. But let's say you get a tier 3 tank. You're not stoked with it. You open up another box. You get the same tier 3 tank again. For other loot box simulators, now not all of them, obviously, but for a lot of them, you would go, crap. You know, shite, not good, horrible. Here, you might actually be happy. Why? Well, there's no such thing as duplicate tanks in the world of tanks. Not necessarily true. There are a few Soviet ones, and there's also skinned variants of tanks. So, for example, you have the T-34 Heavy and the T-34B, which is exactly the same as the other one, except it's painted black for Black Friday deals, and they're insanely expensive and totally not worth it. But if people want to support the game developers and spend their money like that, who am I to tell them otherwise? Anyhow, though, the sort of bone of contention, if you will, being, or not really a bone of contention, but the sort of positive thing here being, the tank that you would get, or any reward that you already have, gets converted into gold. And gold is pretty valuable. You can buy a lot of things with gold, right? You can buy from the most mundane gameplay things, such as ammunition, or consumables, or directives, or stuff like that. Actually, you know, you buy directives with bonds. You can buy stuff in game with them, to stuff that you can only buy with real money, right? So not just stuff that you can buy with credits or gold. You can buy. There's also things you can buy exclusively with gold, premium time, for example, or there's things, okay? There's things. Anyhow, that's it. Yeah. Wordy, yes. Unnecessarily long, kind of, but I wanted to make it clear for people that don't play the game. I wanted to sort of, yeah, for people that play World of Tanks, this is going to be a bit unnecessarily long and repetitive. But for people that don't, I think it's worthwhile to have a discussion like this and to try and explain why exactly I think so. Because, like I said, to most normal communities, this isn't, well, normal. You know, paying $50 for a tank isn't normal. But, hey. For some communities, it works better than for others, I suppose, is the point. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the video, and tell me what you think about loot boxes. Actually, don't. That's going to descend into chaos. Tell me what you think about Wargaming's loot boxes. Usually I'm fairly critical of Wargaming in general, like I'm not the most avid supporter of the company, if you will. I have better DPM, mate. Didn't notice the ammo rack. Didn't notice the ammo rack, otherwise that would have been a worthwhile trade, because I would have put the final one before he got the second shot off, but let's not dwell too much on what I should have done and what I didn't do, because I'm focusing on what I'm going to say and not what I'm actually doing. Let's get the HTC from behind, if at all possible. IKV's got the same idea. Actually, I think I should go this way now, if the IKV is going to go around. Yeah. Because I reckon you're either going to start turning towards the IKV, or you're going to die to me. Track. No. Track. There you go. Let's just kill him. Witness my glorious 3000D PM. Yeah. Oh well. Anyways. Unfortunate. Why a medium tank is sniping from the red line is beyond me, but hey, if it works, it works. Right. I reckon that's about it. Not too long, I hope. About 15 minutes or so, and then, you know, another 5 of me rambling on about the HTC and then how I'm going to fail at killing him. But yeah. See you around. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.